Sitting here with the professor. So tell us a little bit about your journey, man. I mean, what inspired you to even pick up a basketball?
My dad actually inspired me to pick up a basketball early on. I was 3 years old. He just had a passion for the game. He didn't play college or pro or anything, but he had a passion for the game and just started in my driveway. You know, we'd be out there, we'd play horse, mess around. Pretty soon, by about grade school, that gravitated toward one-on-one. Middle school, I couldn't even meet my dad one-on-one until I was a freshman in high school, or a freshman in college.
Yeah, and he don't let up.
No, he didn't let up. So, yeah, my dad was always the one who put me onto the game and really just instilled the passion.
What led you towards the life of handles?
You know, I think being a small guard, I realized early on from coaches, I had some great coaches, that, you know, being a good ball handler was going to be vital to make it to the next level because my parents are short, I'm short, we're not super athletic, you know, that skill was going to come in handy. But then for some reason, I was always drawn to the flashiness of the game. You know, I think honestly it was just God given. You know, basketball was my passion, but then He made it to where like entertaining with the game is always my passion. For what reason, I really don't even know. But that's why I think it's more of a God given thing because I always took to guards like Tim Hardaway when he had the killer crossover in the 90s, and then Allen Iverson when he came in the late 90s. Like, those are the players I was just drawn to, so I tried to emulate that style. Then when I saw And1 mixtape, Volume 1, I think I was, what, like 98? Then that opened up my mind even more to trying different moves and sort of going in that direction.
How did you gravitate towards And1?
Just being a fan of it previously. So I think And1 was in existence for 3 or 4 years, actually, before I got on. I think so. By the time I got there, 2003, it had been going for a few years, but it was the second season that it was actually on ESPN. And so I just went up there initially just to watch the game. And then I saw they were having a tryout. And I knew this was kind of my speed, this was my style. So I got in there, did a few moves, the crowd went crazy. A couple of the guys that were on the team saw me and they're like, oh, we like him. So it was a selection process. I got picked to go play against the And1 team. And then I went on tour and the rest was history.
How did you come up with the name, The Professor?
I actually didn't come up with it. So for me, I was given the nickname because Dutango, I think he thought I looked like a professor. I used to comb my hair to the side and stuff. But I think also he said I was schooling people on the court.
There you go.
So it was like those two things. I was just playing against the And1 team in this summer-long contest. I think Survivor was like one of the first big reality TV shows. So they were trying to have like a Survivor theme on the tour. And basically what it was they'd pick up guys in the local city, and then you'd have the guys from the previous city play also. So like it'd be a process of elimination all through the summer. And if you were in the contest, it was called On the Bus. So I was on the bus going to all the cities. And by the time I got to the last city, I think it was a 35 city long tour, they had a process of elimination between myself, this player Spida, and this other player Helicopter. Two incredible athletes. I didn't even think I was gonna win like at all, but somehow it was storybook enough to where like I hit a game winner in Madison Square Garden, we beat And1. Then we had a game like 2 nights later in Philly, which was at Wachovia. I loved it because Iverson played there. And then we had the final elimination game in Linden, New Jersey. And that's where I ended up winning the contract. And from then on, I've been traveling the world. I've got to go to over 40 countries, multiple times. Met a lot of cool people. Get to work with the youth now, like this. So it's been an incredible journey, definitely a blessing.
Definitely. So what are some of the experiences you've learned traveling and meeting these people and balling out and having a good time?
Man, I wouldn't even know where to start, but just in general, like, I just learned about a lot of different cultures. I've learned about like world poverty scales. You know, we tour a lot of times in third world countries, way different than here in the States. You get global perspective, you know what I mean? It's like, sometimes we can get in a bubble, we just think, you know, we just see it from American standpoint. We might even complain a lot about this country. Best believe this country is a lot better standing than some other countries, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is a cool perspective. Got to eat food at different places around the world, it's really cool. I get to see what the culture of the youth is like, you know? Different kids are different everywhere, you know, behaviorally. Yeah, those are just a few things that come to mind, man. Australia is one I've been to Australia like more than 20 times. So I remember one of the first tours I ever did was actually in Australia in 2004. I got to go all around and we were doing a 3-on-3 tournament or something like that. And I remember going there and I was like, dang, this is pretty much just like America, except they drive on the other side of the road and everybody's got a little bit of an accent and the food's just barely different. So I took to it right away. I loved it because the whole country has like some great weather, and all the cities are on the beach. So it was incredible. I have some really good friends over there now, going over like 14 years, and every time I go to Australia, I really look forward to it.
You're doing a lot of things with, you know, Deuce, with PowerHandz. You got your own dribbling program. What's going on with all of that right now?
Oh, things are great. We just did another guy handles release some new colors of bands. You know, Deuce Brand is all wristwear. So it's like watches and bands and things. So that's been great. PowerHandz is just training products, mainly marketing. With their bread and butter is the gloves, like weighted gloves, but they're slippery. For me, the way I look at it is I warm up with it. For me, it's a great warm thing. But PowerHandz has been great. Right now, what I'm most excited about, my focus of emphasis, is my new guy handles workout. So we did the Superhuman Dribbling, and everything's still under the Superhuman Dribbling umbrella, but the new one is the guy handles workout. And what I'm trying to teach the youth is a new program and teach them how to read the defender's feet so that they can actually shake the opponent. Because a lot of people can do moves in the open gym, but for some reason they can't actually like cross their guy over or really like shake him, make him sway one way or another and then attack. So my program is going to focus solely on what to look for.
Excellent. When is that dropping?
We're looking to drop either late August or early September.
Nice. Yeah. Where can people go to find out more about that?
Oh, SuperHumanDribbling.com.
Nice. Excellent.
Who are your biggest basketball influences and maybe just overall life influences? Who do you look up to? Who do you want to thank? And who's helped to get you to where you are today?
For sure. I think, like I said earlier, you know, to start with, my pops, you know, put me onto the game. So he was a huge influence, especially in my youth. Still is, but especially in my youth. Growing up, players that I watched, Allen Iverson, like I said, Tim Hardaway, obviously Michael Jordan. But then a lot of the N1 guys, you know, Skip to my Lou, like you said, Hot Sauce earlier. These were guys who I would go out and try to practice their moves as well. So it inspired me on another level. But you know, now I'd say like life influences, a lot of people around this church, you know, to be honest, some of these people work in the sports ministry and really use their platform, their God-given gifts for the kingdom. That's kind of what I do. That's why, you know, I host a clinic here.
So outside of basketball, what do you like to do? I mean, who's the professor outside of basketball?
Yeah. So, you know, I do business a lot of time. I mean, because here's the thing. What's business for me is actually a passion. So like they're kind of like intertwined. So I don't feel like ever really working unless there's like deadlines and I'm scrambling to meet. Fredo can tell you, I always feel like I'm just having fun, whether I'm making a video for YouTube or whether I'm working with the youth or I'm making an appearance somewhere to speak and just talk about basketball or just play people one-on-one for an hour, or like you said, going to Australia, playing 5-on-5. So basketball consumes a lot of my time. Honestly, my downtime is hanging with friends. Sometimes I'll just come up here and hang out. I love going to the movies. We're in Cali, so I love going to the beach every now and again.
Right.
But to be honest, I never really feel like I'm working, even though we're grinding hard. So I always feel like even today is just, you know, we're having fun.
Yeah, having a great time. That's excellent. Are you guys going on another tour? How can your fans continue to follow you? Where can they look for?
Or what's next? Or any updates that you want to let the people know about?
Oh, definitely. You can always stay up with me on Instagram. It's probably the easiest. @GlobalHooper, Snapchat @GlobalHooper12. Definitely stay tuned to YouTube, ProfessorLive, and everything I really do is always all encompassed on the ProfessorLive.com. So I would say any of those 4 outlets. You can always find out what I got going on.
Sweet.
Excellent.
Hey man, appreciate your time.
Hey, appreciate you guys.
Definitely.
Shout out to Golden Net Basketball.